All right, guys. So this is Shanie Entertaining and Opinion. Say hi, Opinion.
Hey guys, very nice to be here. Shanie, I'm very happy to be with you. And what are we going to talk about? We're going to talk about some stuff.
Yes, we should be talking about how long it took us to actually get this to work.
That should be the first topic.
Technical geniuses we're not, guys.
Nope.
But we got it to work, and hopefully we'll have a few viewers watching it. The topic today we decided to choose for our joint venture is reboots and how we should stop them, throw them in the garbage
at all costs whatsoever. Yeah, we got tired of talking about it on the phone, so we figured we better share it with you and talk about it. So we got stuff to talk about. We got what do they got? Disney reboots. We're probably gonna throw a little Star Wars in there. There's no Star Wars reboots, but there's stuff continuing, and he's shaking his. He's like, no, we're not doing that. We don't have to do that. That's okay.
We could Star Wars, but we're going to start with okay. Let's get the monkey out of the Star Wars reboots. We're talking about rehashes more than reboots with Star Wars, right? Because reboots have already been rebooted. Not really rebooted, but it's a soft reboot. But we're talking about rehashes, meaning that. Let's just keep bringing back the old, like resurrecting old characters. You know, Yoda, he will have a movie soon, right?
Now we should delineate rehashes and reboots, right? Because they're different things. And remakes, rehashes, reboots, and remakes. The 3 R's, the important R's of filmmaking: rehash, reboot, and remake. So remake obviously is taking something that has already been done, already exists, and like doing the exact same thing, but putting like a contemporary spin or doing whatever it is that you do on it. What would be an example of that? Like, Psycho got remade with Vince Vaughn, just kind of going to town in the hotel room. Remember, he had the little. Never mind. Then we've got. I get very confused, Shanie, about reboot and remake.
Well, a reboot is like. Well, they're kind of the same thing, I would say. A remake is just remaking something. I guess reboot is the same thing. I just think it's just a trendier term for it, really. You know.
Okay. Someone told me that the new Batmans are a reboot, like from Christian Bale on, because it kind of it took an existing storyline, but it kind of set it back to ground zero and started retelling kind of the same story points, but with a new spin on it. Is that what?
This is all semantics, and I don't do semantics.
Ah, crap! Stop the broadcast.
No broadcast. I'm gonna drink some coffee.
Oh, there he is. Speaking of Superman.
No, honestly, let's just get
what's in there anyway.
Honestly, no, that's all semantics. Let's just say everything is reboot and remade. For this, okay, guys, just so you know, for the purposes of this conversation, everything we're saying is a reboot. Even if it's a remake or rehash, it's all reboots.
All this dialogue is a reboot.
Yes.
But it's just been all been said before.
And let's reboot the conversation. This is flying off the floor.
Let's start with some Disney shit. You want to start with some stuff?
There is this Disney shit. Disney owns everything. In fact,
I know. I have limited time on this camera. They own,
they just bought.
They own all my equipment. I'm kidding. They don't.
They own 96%.
But okay, so have you seen any of the remakes? You know how they're making live action remakes of everything, or have you seen any of those? Okay, which ones have you seen?
I've only seen. Well, what was the first one? The one. Okay, Maleficent. Does that count? As a remake?
Totally.
Okay, hated it. What's the next one? What was after the Snow White one? What was that? The Huntsman? No, it wasn't the Huntsman.
There was Cinderella.
Cinderella. Are you sure Cinderella?
It was a live-action remake of Cinderella, which I did not see. I did not see that one.
That one I did not see.
There was Beauty and the Beast.
Oh, no, I didn't see that.
There. Oh boy, you didn't miss much with that one. That was.
I can't take her. I can't. I can't take her as Belle. What's her name? Harry Potter. Hermione.
Oh, Emma Watson.
Hermione. I can't take her.
Oh man, there was just so much. Well,
if she was the Beast, I probably would have seen it.
I know. I went to school with Josh Gad, who was LeFou in that, and he was also oh my God, the snowman. Who's the snowman in Frozen?
Oh, Frosty. I don't remember names of characters.
That's Christmas. That's Christmas time.
I just know that they rehashed or reused that song from Yentl. You know that song, Yentl?
The Can You Hear Me song?
Yeah.
We're on Yentl?
Isn't that Yentl? No, the song from Frozen.
Yeah.
The snowman song. I forgot what it was.
Oh, it's just called Snow. Oh, Summer.
Well, I know that if you play that back to back with the Yentl song, Mama, can you hear me? It's the same exact song. They just changed it.
Oh, Olaf. That was his name.
Oh, there you go.
Olaf, which was going to be my name. Did you know that? I have Norwegian grandparents, and my father was so influenced that he was like, "You're going to name him Olaf," and they were like, "No, you're not." I was almost Olaf, so I would have been Olafian, Olafalapian, Oliphant. I don't know what the hell I would have been.
My original name is Chris.
Are you really?
Yeah, they was actually, like when you're born, they put print on the newspaper, born this day.
Yeah.
He actually originally had put Christopher. Christopher was my original name, and then afterwards.
Oh my God. Okay, so let's go back. Let's get back to Disney.
Talk about that. That's
Disney
so much more important.
So, what was interesting about the Maleficent one is that they at least tried to tell it from a different point of view. So they did the whole kind of like, what's it called? The guy who wrote Wicked and Son of a Witch, and Wicked became a Broadway musical. So it tells it from the Wicked Witch's point of view. So they were kind of trying to do that thing with Maleficent, and I bought that. It's just that the movie was just like, what is, like, did you know she had wings?
No, and the whole movie was annoying to me. I watched it. That was the first time I felt like SJWs were attacking me.
Really?
Oh yeah, I went in that movie like just with uppercuts left and right from that movie. Just people, I felt like completely just punched in the face with just, men are evil, all men are bad, men will take your wings.
All the men did kind of suck in that movie. I do remember that.
It's pro like women agenda, like only love is good between two women, right? They changed the whole love story. The men were all evil and stupid and so bad. Men were so evil, like there was no motivation to take the wing. Oh, he wants to be the king, so he took my wings. It was so metaphorically just cringy.
I hated that he loved her, but he turned on her and he like cut off her wings and he put the wings in a case and they moved on their own, like the little balls in the Harry Potter thing. You know what I mean? Like you have to chain with the blodgers. You have to chain the blodgers down so that they don't fly around. And somebody had to do that with her wings. I don't like when.
I hate
because the original. Well, I mean, the original story, right? The original story is pretty gruesome.
Dark.
Of Sleeping Beauty. It's like, ooh, like yeah.
No, but what I'm saying is like, even the three witches, not the witches though, the fairies, the one that took care of her.
So dumb.
They were like the Three Stooges.
Yeah, they were really, and their heads were too big. That bothered me. I know their heads were like computer.
They were Ryan Johnson size.
And they were too big. So they all look like lollipops. Yeah, they all look like lollipops, and that kind of really bothered. And they were dumb. They were so dumb. I was surprised that they had female characters that dumb in a movie like that.
And that's one of my favorite stories. I like the darkness of it. I like the fact that it was actually a little dark, as opposed to like. I mean, they're all a little dark. All Disney. You like to kill. Disney likes killing the moms and pops. They right off the bat they just.
I don't like not reversal, but I'm not crazy about when they switch up the plot and they go, oh, well, now it's from this point of view. It's always at the expense of someone else. It's that what am I saying? It's like that reverse hero thing. It's like the person who thought that was the hero is not. And that only has so much mileage with me. And especially when they start bringing they turn into like a male versus female thing, because like the original, like the animated Sleeping Beauty wasn't at all about male versus female, really. It was just that like Prince Philip had to go fight Maleficent because she was doing bad things.
Well, the original Disney was never men versus women. It was always just pretty much standard stuff, like the princess gets into crap, and then Prince Charming has to go on this horse. I'm coming to save you. That's and
I need my.
Right? He's just some no-namer that comes and kisses her.
I need those.
You know which Walt Disney movie pisses me off the most? Snow White. And I'll tell
Really?
I'll tell you why. Snow White is a little hussy. She uses the seven dwarves to get whatever the hell she wants from them. They fall in love with her, and all the Sleepy Steve, those guys, they fall in love with her, and then all of a sudden, she gets into trouble, and they hide her and they feed her. She mooches off their fridge. She cleans a little of the house and whatever, but
she uses the animals too.
The minute some Prince Charming just walks into her life, there she just takes off and leaves them high and dry. And I'm sorry, but I won't stand for that sort of. I'm not saying she's a gold digger.
she's a diamond digger. So do you think she stuffed a whole bunch of shit in her pockets before she left? She's like, hi, because she might have.
I'll say she deserved that out.
She does, doesn't she? She just kind of leaves. You're gonna make me hate Snow White now.
Oh, you know the Mandela effect? Have you heard of that thing?
Mandela effect?
Yeah, where we're supposedly.
Oh yeah.
Okay, okay. Basically, if you guys don't know what the Mandela effect is, it's like it was coined after Nelson Mandela, meaning like an effect that you don't remember, like you misremember things. It's like a joint misremembering of actual real events. So like basically, a lot of people remember Nelson Mandela actually dying in the 80s as opposed to when he really died. That's why I coined it, right? So one of the biggest Mandela effects is Snow White. He says, okay, what does Snow White say in the mirror? Or not the evil witch. What does she say to the mirror?
What does she say when?
Yeah, when she does that shit, mirror on the wall.
Yeah, she goes, it's who's the fairest one of all.
But everyone assumes it's mirror on the wall, who's the fairest one of all. That's not how it actually goes. It goes, magic mirror on the wall. Who's the fairest one of all? Not mirror. Magic mirror.
So the Mandela effect makes you remember it incorrectly, right?
Yes, most people remember mirror. If you ask 90% of the people, everyone remembers mirror. But the actual, you watch it, go and watch it. Right now, it'll actually be mirror on the wall. A magic mirror on the wall. Who's the fairest one of all? And the answer is me.
Right there. I'm trying to think which Disney film really pisses me off. I was very indignant about The Lion King. I was working at Disney at the time, and when Lion King came out, I was like, what is this? This is Hamlet. This is Hamlet with lions. That's all this is. They totally ripped it. Oh, and they ripped it off of Kimba the White Lion, which was an anime series in Japan. Kimba the White Lion. They even named him Simba and Kimba.
Oh, interesting. I did not.
Yeah, I don't know what it was about that film. Oh, so that's a reboot. That's a remake. They're remaking that.
Remake, a reboot.
Have you seen the cast
for
Lion King?
No. You guys want to know the person behind me? That's my dog. Water.
Well, Donald Glover's in it. I believe he's adult Simba. Beyonce is adult Nala. I'm like, really? Okay.
I just want
James Earl Jones is returning as Mufasa.
And Darth Vader.
Huh?
To return as Darth Vader.
And Darth Vader is Simba. You are part of this pride. Yeah. I'm fine with him returning because he's just fantastic. He has a great voice. Who the hell else is in that? John Oliver is going to be Zazu. Did you know that?
No.
You know who he is?
Yes.
I want to watch him do Zazu about as much as I want a colonoscopy followed by a rigorous Zumba class. That's how much I want to watch him perform that.
I'm going to figure that out. Okay.
Colonoscopy.
Zumba class.
The after effects of colonoscopy, and then doing something really rigorous.
No, that doesn't sound appealing whatsoever. It's almost as good as Bill Murray as the bear, as Baloo.
And on the docket, they've got, do you like that word, the docket? They got Dumbo. We know that because they already put the trailer out, and they're not totally changing about that, but they're changing it a lot. Like, I don't think Timothy Mouse is in it. Like everything, all the tertiary characters, like the crows and the mouse and everything, those are all kids now.
That's like racial territory. You can't have those crows. You can't do that.
No. I already had a fight about that with somebody because they're like, the crows. And James Baskett, who played Uncle Remus in Song of the South, he was the voice of one of the crows as well. So they must have treated him horribly because he wanted to work again and ended up doing Dumbo. Don't get me started on that. But they're doing Aladdin. Aladdin's already cast and filming, and they're going to do that. They just announced Lady and the Tramp is being remade.
Okay, before we go into everything, I hate it. And the reason, okay, not that I hate it, but I think there's some have merit and some are okay. It's just, the whole thing is, do not think that with every single remake that they make, they're just going to make the classics less of a classic. Like, no one's going to turn to watch cartoons anymore because they're making the live ones, and the live ones are just,
it could be, or they're going to divide people more. People go, oh, I want the animation. I don't want the live. That's me, man. That's the camp I'm in. I prefer the animation.
Yeah, I mean, Disney's an animation.
It is. It's magical. I don't think that can be beat. Even though it's a two-dimensional, sometimes three-dimensional form, you get lost in it as opposed to seeing, like, Beauty and the Beast. I couldn't stand Beauty and the Beast. I saw it once and I tried to sit through it a second time on like Netflix or something, whatever it's on, Hulu. And I was like, God, this is bad. I couldn't stand it. The singing was bad. All the characters were taking themselves way too seriously. They expanded the story of the prince so much that I just didn't get it. Because the sorceress actually isn't very nice because she puts a curse on him and then screws everybody else over who happens to live with him for no good reason whatsoever, and then puts a spell on the castle. Because I was like, wait, how did they explain that nobody goes there to go, hey, where's our prince? Like, what? We haven't heard from him. I haven't gotten any texts. He doesn't drunk dial me. None of that shit. So like, where is he? So she put a spell on the castle too. So everyone would just forget about it. So everyone's enchanted.
Yeah.
Just everyone's enchanted. I'm like, this is the
stupid. Did you go ape shit in this one and like destroy furniture?
The sorceress?
No, the beast. Because in the original, there's one weird part about the original where there's a room that Bella goes into the room and she.
Oh yeah.
Furniture. And
yeah, it's like this hangout.
If all the furniture is alive, the beast commit mass murder in his house. And nobody knows this dark secret of the beast committing mass murder with all the furniture. Because the furniture is all people. And if there's a room with just destroyed furniture everywhere.
Oh, if he destroys furniture. Yeah, I never got that either because in the
room, it was a forbidden room. It was like
in the
dead.
Right, in the animated movie, there actually were some things that were not or didn't seem alive. So I'm like, what's alive and what's not? If I pick up that spoon, is it going to shit in my hand? You know, if I use this napkin, am I like, is it, you know what I mean?
The candles, yeah. Do the candles, do they defecate at all? I'd like to see that.
And do they drink? It's too much to go into, but it actually really bothered me. I didn't care about LeFou being gay. You know how they made LeFou like openly. Oh, they did. Well, they made him like he wasn't just a bumbling idiot in this one. They made it they kept saying he's gay. They're like, LeFou is gay in this. And I don't care if he's gay or not, but I didn't understand it as an announcement. I was like, why do we need to know that he's gay? It's like, do I need to know that Belle is straight? Do I need to know that?
Look, it's virtual thinking. It's virtue signaling. Look, it's like, look what we do.
It is. It is. And then, you know, what they did with his characters, he had such a small gay moment at the end that it's just, they were just you know, cock teasing you the whole time anyway, because they didn't have the balls to actually give him a moment. It's like, if you're going to have all this hubbub about him being gay, then have the balls to have a moment, like an actual character moment. I mean, the story didn't need it, but that's what I mean. They start inserting all that. They're like, oh, he's gay now. And I'm like, what the hell does that have to do with the story? You know, nobody went through fairy tales, through Grimm's fairy tales, and was like, here's a breakdown of all the sexual identities of all the characters. And that's something that's infecting storytelling more and more and more.
I think that before we go watch every movie, they should just have the credits of the people, of the actors, and their sexual preferences right after. Like it should be like zoom right on the credits. Just be like zoom, you know, like this guy, and then right, zoom, he's gay. Zoom, he prefers men. Zoom, this actor, he identifies as a woman. You know, just get that out of the way right in the credits, so then forget the rest of the movie. Just let everyone.
I mean, is it me? I don't walk into movies and go start watching the characters, watch the story unfold, and go, I wonder. I just kind of go with it and see where the character stories take me. I don't go in hell bent on deciding.
Nobody does though. That's the thing. It's just so that they can get their little political correct message out, and everybody else, and then it's like, you know, basically they're washing their hands of anybody. We don't want to hear backlash of this group and that group and all these other groups. So they're just trying to cover all the bases with the best they can, and really not trying to anger too much. They don't stir the pot too much. It's just like little fan service. You know, it's meaningless, really. It's all that is.
Well, do you want to talk about Ghostbusters for a minute? Stirring the shit. You know, the whole debacle that happened with that, and now there we had another director, you know, going, oh, you don't like it because you're sexist. It's like, no, people didn't like it because you insist on taking these beloved franchises, and now we have to have every version of them. We have to have like the urban version. We have to have the all female version. And when you do that, I always feel like you're implying that the original product was like implicitly broken somehow.
Yeah, but that is, and this practically we actually did. It was almost like, and what I didn't like was the switch right in the beginning, where they give you the whole the like, you know, like the commercials, you know, the first trailers that came out, right? It showed you about this is like about the years ago, and this happened, you know, and then now like all that's erased. You know, they even give you the little piano, right? And then they completely go to something completely different. And then, oh yeah, by the way, what we just set up no longer exists in the universe. So, you know, wah, right? And then
because this Ghostbuster was a reboot, right? It means it went back to ground zero, told the same story with the same elements, but it was like, but that was something else that pissed people off, was that it was like it erased the old ones.
Yeah.
And just like, this is Ghostbusters now. I'm like, well, wait a minute. No, because no, you can't.
If they had done it like I said with the Calvin House, and they just kept Egon, you know, Egon passed away. They couldn't keep it. But if they kept the main cast, they would still alive. And they just had like their daughters, or friends of their daughters, or other people, you know, pick up the mantle. And then those, they see now it's the new generation working in conjunction with the new and the old together. You know, the new guys and the old Ghostbusters and the Ghostbustettes, whatever the hell you want to call them. You know, and you don't have that all. What are they all winning for? You throw in a couple of dudes, you kill it, right? And then we can all have fun, right? And then you just have a new movie based on that. It would have been fine. Just continue, right? You don't have to reboot from the scratch and start. And
Chris, you know, Annie Potts, who played the secretary in the first two, you know, she was a smart character. She had spunk. She was sassy. Like, she didn't take any shit. They made Chris Hemsworth's character, I don't even remember his character, they make him a complete dumbass. He's like, oh, look what I can do. And then
a phone in a fish tank or something stupid like that. Like,
yeah, they just made him a complete imbecile. And when some of these new movies,
how the hell, like he wasn't even a fan.
No, they can't even get out of their own way. with some of these new movies, because their whole game is they have to make one gender win at the expense of another, and that doesn't have to be the game in any of the films. I mean, they could have done something like all the children, you know, let's say Ghostbusters went defunct and the fire station shut down, and then they all went and had their lives and they had kids and blah, 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 blah. Could have been one of the kids, you know, Zool came back and possessed one of their kids. It could have been that the kids are like, oh, this is where our dads used to like hang out, and this was the place. This is the place. And maybe they go in and maybe they unleash a ghost that they forgot to empty out of one of the containers that's been trapped in there for like all these years.
There's a million possibilities of what they could have done. The thing is that what they chose to do was absolutely stupid, and it serves nobody. It doesn't serve anyone except for like the people who don't know anything about Ghostbusters, don't care. Like I said, you want to make a movie with all girls shooting ghosts and paranormal stuff, then do so. But don't call it Ghostbusters. Call it something completely different. That's the problem. They have their it's like, okay, the Thundercats. Let's get back to
Are we gonna? Oh, we should get into that shit.
Yeah. The Thundercats is forward. Thundercats forward. No, these guys. It's like, we have an idea. We have an agenda. I have sort of some sympathy for the creators because of the fact that I feel like all the people who are like all the studios and you know the studios they just want reboots. They're just like. It's too much money to start a brand new brand. You know, it costs too much and it's hard. Let's just take an existing brand that we know and we'll just reboot it or something. And
they don't want to take the risk of drumming up a new audience.
Sure.
They're like, we have an audience already. Let's give them some. So what were you saying?
No. So then you got these guys coming straight out of like school or whatever the hell it's on, and they got all these ideas and I want to make this concept and I want to make this concept. And they get so excited and they go to the studios and say, could you greenlight this project? They're like, I like your idea. It's really good. This is the studio executive. I like your idea. It's very good. But the problem is no one's going to give craps about your idea. Maybe we could switch, do the bait switch. Whatever your idea is, we'll put it into something else that's existing. What does somebody care only a little bit about? I don't know. Let's go to the Rolodex. Well, Thundercats. We ain't done that. Right, and then so now take your idea and shove it into Thundercats. And the guy goes, "Are you sure? You sure we could do that? No, just tell them you're a big fan. Everyone will believe it." Right, and that's what. And I almost feel sorry because they're hindering creativity. And then these poor guys, you know, with their man buns or what the hell.
Oh, Man Bun McGee, yeah.
They got with that, and they go out there and they're like told to maybe they're like just being patsies, right? And just send out there, go tell them you like it. Tell them you're a big fan of everything. Don't worry. And then they close the door behind him when he leaves the office, and they're like they're listening, like all the executives are listening. What happens? And he's like, okay, yeah. So I'm really excited about my idea of Thundercats, and take a look at these stills, and we did a markup, blah blah blah. Then the shitstorm just piles on him, left and right. He just like, I don't know what to do anymore.
You know what you do? You do something else. That's what the hell you do.
I know.
But
executives won't greenlight something else. That's my whole point.
Who's telling these people that these are good ideas? You know, and you also know about She-Ra.
Yeah. She-Ra now.
She-Ra?
Yeah.
No, Teen-Ra is what it is because it looks like a little kid. She-Ra now looks like a little kid.
This thing of that thing looks like a boy.
I have like a connection of a connection. Look at me. And they were telling me about the characters, and they were like, "Oh, well, all the characters are getting changed, and the emphasis is on." Oh, again, we got to point out that Bo, who was the love interest, he's now a young gay Latino guy.
Is he?
And I'm like, well, okay, what purpose does that serve in the story? Like, is it? Maybe he'll fall. Maybe he'll fall in love with a satyr or something, and they'll have
story. They don't know what a story is. These guys, that's the problem. They don't know story. They don't know character.
No, they don't.
It's just let's just make things happen. They think messages are stories. That's not messages is not a story. A story is,
Mhm.
you know, this is there's a beginning, a middle, and end. There's like conflict. What they know is just here's messages. That's not a story.
I
And
don't know when culture. I don't know when culture switched to you go to you go to see a story to have your existing ideologies already your existing ideologies reaffirmed. You know, what happened to learning something new? What happened to taking on a new perspective and going, oh, I didn't think of it that way, or you know, oh, I really wasn't expecting that story to go that way, and it really kind of lit something up in me, you know. But now it's like so many stories are about feeding people what they already know and what they like. Somebody said, "Oh God, who was it?" That stories now are based on what's trending in the moment, rather than something that's a little more evergreen and a little more has some lasting power. You know, um, what was that? There was another movie.
the same thing. If you look at what YouTube is the same sort of deal. It's whatever's instead of a lot of people, you know, put stuff out there based on what's trending. You know, because that just gets the most hits. That's what gets the most clicks. It's like clickbait. It's like let's talk about what's trending. What's in the news today. What did the
Yeah,
Kardashians do? What did Trump do? What did and then that's what they jump on right away, and then 50 million videos talk about that same thing, and then everybody gets bored of it, and the next thing comes on. There's very little actual unique content being made, because that doesn't do well. Unique content on YouTube doesn't do well. You try to do something new, you try to do something unique for your own personality, and 90% of the time, people just want to know what celebrities are doing or what this YouTube channel is doing, and it's just that's it's kind of a microcosm of what we're seeing in Hollywood. It's the same kind of deal. It's like they know what sells. In the end, people have to stop being pulled towards the Jerry Springer situation. What I
mm-hmm.
mean? Like that, we got to focus. Probably everyone's just like so much is going on in the world. Like, bang, bang, bang.
Well, social media is a very fast river, and
We're all drowning.
oh, I ain't drowning. You drowning? I ain't drowning. I'm okay. I'm right here. I'm right here.
No, I'm clogged. No,
Well,
not no, the frog.
I think we're okay, and I think there's room for everybody in a certain capacity.
You froze. Froze. What happened? He froze everybody. I don't know what happened here. He froze in a very weird way. Uh,
Oh, there you are.
what happened?
I don't know. It was the time continuum disturbance.
It was a disturbance in the force.
It's the
The force.
okay. We have to talk about this for a second, just for a second, and then we'll. Uh-oh. They're waiting for people to join this call. Nobody's joining.
Hello. Hello. Let me see if I can. No, just my whole thing crashed. I don't know what happened. Let me see if I can invite him again. I need to invite him. Let's see. I don't know what happened. Everything just crashed on me, guys. Sorry. My computer just went in the black. I know they didn't want us talking about Star Wars.
Are we back?
We're back. I don't know.
Oh my god.
The computer just went black. It just went, and it scared me. It was like, darkness.
It's Disney. They don't want us talking about this shit.
Nothing. 80s references, guys.
You know that corporations will be crushed, and Shanie will be one of us.
Jesus.
I don't know. I don't know what happened. My computer just decided.
Oh, we're back. Okay.
You were about to talk about Star Wars. I think that's what happened.
Even the computer was like, "Fuck no, you're not doing that."
For no Star Wars today. No, I'm just.
Like, he's not having it.
Okay, go on.
Now, what was I even going to say about? Oh, I know what. I read yesterday was that, it's all speculation at this point. Nobody has said this is happening, this is happening. Nobody has said any of that. But they're talking about, and I've heard other people talk about this, that episode 9 is going to be split up into 2 parts.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Why don't we just all light each other on fire?
I 100%. This is the only way to save Star Wars now. I figured it out. It took me a long time. I know I've guys who are subscribed to my channel. They know that I figured it out 1,000 times, but I really figured it out this time. This time it's for sure.
All right, lay it on me.
Okay, we need 2 separate universes. All right, we'll call one George Lucas universe, where we'll start again, where we go. Forget Rey, forget all that crap. We'll restart from we'll do from the beginning, like right after, again, we'll pretend like it's a different universe, like a multiverse kind of thing. We got the
Marvel universe.
That's one thing, and then we got the George Lucas verse, and so we'll start after A New Hope, or sorry, Return of the Jedi, and years later we'll start they'll make a whole brand new series after that, following that timeline. And then you guys can have your crap Star Wars,
Oh, so that's your solution?
Well, let them have all their garbage Reylos and shit. We don't have to get mad about that. If you want your Reylos and you want your, go ahead, have your whatever SGW Fest. Go ahead. We don't have to watch that crap. Just sell us this is the different multiverse, right? So somewhere along the line, when Disney bought it, this is what happened. Went on a tangent. The time tangent happened, right? And it split into different universes. So their Yoda sucked. Luke Skywalker sucks. It's like the Mirrorverse from Star Trek. It's just everything that happened afterwards, just shit. You can get the shit.
And we'll open with George Lucas just turning around in a big plush chair. He's like, "Hi, I'm sorry about that." And, now back to your regular scheduled program, and we'll just pick right up.
We have our Star Wars that we love, and we continue with that. And Luke is a hero again, and he didn't throw away the Rey is not even existing, and she doesn't even exist in the new one, the old one. We'll just start the complete EU. We'll just do the EU.
Why can't we make all the new Star Wars expanded universe and then go, "Oh, that's not canon"? I'm so sorry.
But they won't. It's not what we would do. It's what they would do, right? I've already talked about canon. I already said they can shove their cannon and shoot it up from a cannon for all I care.
Yeah,
but
I had all the canon books. Oh my god, I should have kept them so I could read through them a second time. But that's okay. It's in the past. What does it matter? And segueing into that wasn't a segue because we already talked about The Lion King a little bit. There's nothing to talk about because it's not out yet.
No. It's just like you said with the She-Ra, with all this. Oh my god, you just keep hearing. And now they want to do Alf, like let's reboot.
Oh yeah. I'm going to tell you this right now. If they try to remake E.T.,
no,
I'm leaving this planet. I'm absolutely leaving this planet. I'm going to find whatever goes that way, and I'm going to just go.
Oh, he's going to be lost on a deserted planet. We're going to have to send Steve.
You won't be able to touch E.T. now because that'll be harassment.
Yeah, E.T. No, Now it wouldn't be phone home, it'd be sweet home.
ET2. It'll be me T2. That'll be.
Me T touch boy. Yeah.
But
Not because he's an alien. He was arrested for sexual
do we need to talk about all that right after what happened with James Gunn and now Spielberg and Tom Hanks, right? We're not going to get into that. That's another video.
So they say. I don't know, man. I just like at some point I just want to put my head in the dirt and just like bury it with like like in the cartoons.
Like John Candy and Summer Rental. I just want to cover me up.
Cryogenically freeze me, wake me up when all this is done and the world has gone normal.
They did remake Overboard. And I don't know if you saw the ads for that. I refuse to see it because Overboard is one of my favorite 80s movies. I know it's a low budget movie, but if you want to see a good comic performance, Goldie Hawn in that. I mean, Kurt Russell too, but Goldie Hawn is obviously the center of that movie. I saw it. And she is just.
And I want that closet bad. Every time I saw that closet, I just always, I want that closet. I don't even like closets, but I want that closet. You know, the cranking closet, just with all the shoes and stuff.
Yeah, and the shoes, and they go like that. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And the boat's closet is better than my house.
Yeah. No, I need that. I need that closet now. That's a damn shame. But no, I refuse to see it. I like Anna Faris. I think Anna Faris is a talented comedic actress, but I couldn't. I'm like, I can't. And of course, we got to do the role. Nowadays, it's either replace the cast with the opposite gender or do a role reversal to satisfy, I don't know, to satisfy what? The retroactively offended, the people who were like, well, I wanted to like that movie, but I would like it better if the guy was the one who lost his memory and got tricked. Yeah. Why does it have to be the woman? And it's like, because that was that story. And you know what? And somewhere out there, there's a story where a guy loses his memory. And it's the new Overboard.
Guys, I got an idea for women and anybody who wants, like, you know, more representation. How about this? News story. Huh? Remember when that was a thing? Remember there was a whole trend of new stories once upon a time. New movies and new ideas.
Of what?
There was. Once upon a time, I think the 80s had, like, new movies. It was a trend back in the day of not rehashing and remaking things and change. They just made you wanted a black lead role, black person in the lead role, and you wrote one, and there he was, Axel Foley, right?
Yes.
You don't have to, like, you know, you just make one, and guess what? If you write it, it's not like now where it's like we got to shove this into that, and maybe if we move this, we can put this gender into here. You know,
are you doing Hank?
No.
No, I think that was a little
Hank. I'll be a little more pissed off. What the hell happened to Hollywood? Once upon a time, they knew how to make stories. Now all they know how to make is me cry, fall asleep in the theater.
You new Ghostbusters. Where's Bill Murray? I know.
I don't know if it's gonna ever stop. Because people stop. They say, okay, I hear people say, well, I don't want to boycott. But it's not about boycott. It's about making smart financial decisions. It's about voting with your dollar. You know, it's not about boycotting because you want to, you know, it's about saying, I don't approve of this. I don't like this. And the more I give you my money, it's like Transformers, okay? The first catastrophe of my life.
Oh, my God, yeah.
Okay, and with the Bayverse, the crap that they designed. Like, it had, like, they had personality, character, and then they looked like twisted pieces of metal with crazy, weird alien faces. You know, don't get me started on that. But, you know, that was, but, you know, instead of like, I lost my train of thought.
You're drunk. No,
it's 1 o'clock in the morning here. I'm.
Oh yeah, it's 10 here. Sorry, that's right. and we bridge the divide.
No, I was thinking about Transformers. What was I saying about Transformers?
You said that I don't know. What did you say about
All right, guys, it's off the rails. No. No, I was saying how Transformers, sucks. That's bottom line. It sucks. No, but like,
You know what's better than the movie is the ride at Universal Studios.
there's a ride.
There's a Transformer ride. It's actually pretty good because I'm not into Transformers at all. And I went a couple weeks ago, and we had all these wonderful passes to go on rides, go right to the front. Oh my God, it saved us like hours. But we went on it, and Universal's big thing now is mixing projections with real environments, and then your vehicle kind of travels all through that. So you get like an actual real environment, and then you'll turn, and there'll be this whole scenario that'll play out right here. And that was pretty incredible. I like the mix of that, because if it was all projections, I would just be like, oh God, what is this?
I can't wait to ride. I can't wait to go to Walt Disney for one reason. I want to go on the Kathleen Kennedy ride. It's got to be like, it's got to be.
Wait, I can't wait to go to what?
The Kathleen Kennedy, ride in Star Wars. It's got to be that
Journey into my vagina.
I can't wait. The rose teacups. There's got to be rose teacups. No, there's no rose teacups. Come on, there's got to be the rose teacups where you just spin out of control.
The rose teacups.
Yeah, they make you like bump lips with other guys on the other side. It's just very inappropriate. The rose teacups.
Every third cup actually goes off the rails, and you bump into somebody. Yeah, you bump into somebody else.
It's a pointless ride. It just goes nowhere.
You can't exit the ride until you say, we don't win by fighting what we hate. It's by saving what we love. And then you can if you can quote it right, then you get off the ride. I never want you to design a theme park because I'm not gonna.
I'm saying this is what the Star Wars verse is now, right? Isn't it like with Rose? I don't know.
She's in the next one. She's in the next. Did you? And she still hasn't. There's still actually no confirmed statement as to why she went off social media. So everybody just kind of picked that up and ran with it. But it could just be that she doesn't want to, as she's moving into a new movie. It could very well be partly that they don't want people on social media a lot because of the secrecy of the movie. I don't know.
I don't think that was the case. If that was the case, then a lot of people would be off social media. But it was she's the one who went off.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of a flimsy. But she still come out and been like, this is exactly why I went off social media. Everybody just started carrying water for her and was like, this is why it happened. I'm like, oh, I'd rather hear from her.
We know fans do get out of hand. I mean, what they did to poor Anakin, the little boy, for heaven's sake. I think he's a prison.
Oh yeah.
He's in prison now or something. He's like, you see his pictures. He's like.
Well, they didn't make him cause crime. They make him. You made me a murderer.
They turned him into. He joined the dark side even in real life, and that's how. I mean, fans are really bad about stuff like that, and that's where there's the line that you kind of have to remember that you don't cross the insanity line. There's fans, and then there's I want you to die.
Yeah. Well, and that's what you got with social media is the veil behind which everybody feels comfortable to say things that you really wouldn't say or do to somebody in person.
Well, social media could also be cathartic, where instead of acting out violence against someone, I'm not condoning this. I'm saying you could either act out like maybe back in the day before social media, they had no outlet for some crazy lunatic who just hates it so much that he's got to go out there and just physically attack someone in the street. Whereas now you just say it online. He's like, I'm just so mad at you. I'm going to just throw a dart in your forehead. But he never did.
Or if you did A, B, C, D, E, F, G, unfriend me now. Yeah, I love that one.
I'm so mad at you. I'm gonna rape someone on Grand Theft Auto.
Or the purges. You ever see the purge posts where they're like, I'm getting very close to just deleting so many people. What value is there in telling all the rest of it? Just do it. And then one day you wake up and you go on Facebook and go, oh shit, they hate me now.
Don't. Please, I love you. Don't. That's what they want. They want everyone to. They want the confirmation. They want the. They want you to. They want you to stop you, like those people who. That's what. That's what it's all about.
I know, because everything is an event. Every moment of every day is an event. I took a crap. I got to get a picture. I ate. I got to get a picture. Here's my baby. It's all. This took a turn.
Is there any reboots done well?
Is there any what?
Reboots done well that you like?
Reboot that's done well?
Yeah, like recently. I'm not.
Batman did.
Hey,
like the Dark Knight Rises. That did well because I think they were solid made films and the emphasis was on story. They weren't rebooting them.
I mean, sorry.
Yeah.
It doesn't really count because the comics are constantly reinventing itself constantly.
Okay, so no comics, right?
Yeah, because you can always reinvent the comic. It's one of those things that consistently, even in the comics themselves, being so it's that you can even have a crappy version like the.
I hear you.
Schumacher,
Okay, so Batman's out, right? Batman's out. How about that Ghostbusters? No, a reboot that has done well.
Who are you gonna?
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles did okay.
Nah, I didn't like it. I like the original better.
Am I reaching?
You're reaching. No, I don't. I'm trying. The one I do. Okay, it's not a reboot, but I do like what they did. Peanuts. Peanuts movie. Charlie Brown.
Yes.
I thought
I would call that a resurgence.
Okay.
No, seriously, because they didn't redesign them. They did make them look like three-dimensional, which I really like. But I didn't think that was really far out of the parameters of the design. But they didn't change it. They're not allowed to change the design, first of all. But because that's a very protected property, which I'm glad because it means that it's owned by like one place and they're not hoard out all over. But yeah, I would go with you on that one.
I like that they didn't use cell phones. They didn't try to bring it into the modern age like that nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, Peanuts in the modern age, and like they did with Riverdale. That crap, Riverdale. I don't know. Sorry, do you ever watch Riverdale?
Yes, I have.
You like it?
It's really dark. It's so dark because that's the Archie characters.
Yeah, and it's not Archie. That is. It's not even. It's. I don't know. Why even call it Archie? It's really not. It's nothing to do with it.
I know it doesn't. It has zero to do with it. But it's Smurfs did well. No, Smurfs with phones are like hello. No, Smurfs did not do well. How about Beastmaster 3?
I didn't saw it.
It's just me. It's just me.
I saw Beastmaster. I just never saw Beastmaster 3. I do believe.
You never saw Beastmaster?
No, I saw Beastmaster, not Beastmaster 3.
Okay, no, just the first one's good. Then he starts traveling in time, doing shit. That's weird. Then it's like cars, and no, we're not doing that.
I feel like Beastmaster was the inspiration for He-Man, secret inspiration. Or
my secret inspiration?
Beastmaster was the inspiration for He-Man, I believe. My opinion.
I think all of it. I think Conan the Barbarian, because a lot of that stuff in the 80s, it was very like Wizards and Warriors culture, Dungeons and Dragons culture. All that stuff kind of led to
Conan. On the Masters of the Universe.
On the Masters of the Universe. I love all the voices in that.
You know what I think?
So no, reboots have not done well.
No, they don't do well. And they'll never. I did a whole thing about it, about reboots, where I said they don't understand why we like it in the first place, and they don't even care to know. They don't even go out.
No, because that's not why they're making it.
No, they don't make any effort to even care about why people like Star Wars or why people like Star Trek. What was it about Star Trek that people like? They don't care, and yet they just let's just throw it out there, and and then they get all upset and pissy, and then when you don't like it, they have their marketing team work on like reasons, like on bullying tactics to get you. You guys are just racist and sexist, homophobics that don't like my movie, and that's it, right? They just send those press releases out, and everyone.
Yeah, and when did that's bullshit? When did that start happening? Like directors can't just go, all right, maybe not my best work. I should probably reassess and think about that. But it's like you're completely immune from criticism now without, on some of these directors, not all of them, obviously, without them coming back and just going, well, it's your fault. It's not my fault. I'm like, dude, you had the money, you had the backing, you had every resource possible. That was on you. Don't put that on us.
Speaking of He-Man, okay, the original, remember the Masters of the Universe movie?
They're in my room right there.
Okay. Can you imagine this?
I can imagine.
Can you imagine they came out today with that movie? All right, that movie comes out this modern day, and it's shit. It's the garbage piece of crap movie you can see, right? And it's not even recognizable as He-Man or anything like that. Yes, I know. My cat, sorry. So you have He-Man today comes out. You think they're gonna own that's a bad movie like they did back then? They just like, all right, it's a bad movie. Let's just move along. No, you'd have the director come out and be like, you guys are homophobic. You guys are.
It's like now, oh, He-Man's gay. You're saying He-Man. You couldn't have a He-Man cartoon nowadays for boys.
No. Well, yeah, I don't know.
You couldn't. You couldn't. You couldn't have a half-naked man running around, with Wizards and Warriors, half-naked man running around for a kids' cartoon.
You know, it's funny because I heard this conversation at a toy store once. There's one of those moms who like the little girl goes, I want to play with the Barbie. Can I get a Barbie, Mom? And then I was like, no, Mom. And it's like I'm talking about a 6-year-old girl, right? And she's like giving like, I don't think it's appropriate you play with the Barbie because it gives girls like you like a that image of body image. And I'm like, she's not thinking that way, man. She just wants to play. All she wants is she wants to take the Barbie doll and play. You're now putting that in her head. She probably didn't even care about what you're just saying. She probably doesn't even understand what you mean. Now, I got that. I got mad at myself. Like, because I'm thinking to myself, if Barbie gave you a bad image, right? I mean, first of all, Barbie growing up made girls believe that they could be astronauts, doctors, lawyers, whatever, right? Barbie could be the things she could be. He-Man, talk about a body image. Like, look at what boys had to deal with. Look, who wants to live up to that muscular beast of a man, right? Nobody can live up. Boys, look what were we taught as kids? Boys were taught you could go to war, die for your country. That's what we're taught. We're taught if you're not that, what else did we get? Construction trucks. Hey guys, we're playing construction trucks.
Get your ass to work.
Exactly. You could be anything. We could be construction workers and soldiers. That's what we could be. And all the images of
and muscle men with swords.
Yeah, like I mean, we all have. If you want to nitpick about childhoods and brainwashing and telling people messages, God, boys are just.
Well, there was little husky me. I was like, he husk, and I was comparing myself to action figures. I was like, why don't I look like that?
You did.
Or this is what I aspire to be. Yeah, we didn't have a lot of choices. G.I. Joe, like go to war or learn karate, or have chemicals fall on you and be turned into some monster that rips people apart. Be He-Man, yeah. Be a construction worker. Work with ham. That was about it. Like go build something. Fight something.
Yeah, that's it. We never had doctor toys, or like toys to tell us that we won the lottery. We never had toys to say we could be something huge. It was always
and like He-Man lived in a dingy castle with like shit coming out of the floor. He barely had an elevator. His elevator didn't even work. Barbie's worked. That's not fair.
I could have lived in that.
And they didn't make more accessories that you could buy for Castle Grayskull. Like what it came with, that was it. You couldn't get like a TV to put on the wall. You couldn't get any plants or like
I don't think they did.
Or a fish tank. Or no, there wasn't even a place to eat. It was just rough. It was like, here's the elevator, here's the fucking computer monitor, here's a suit you can't put on, and here's the throne. And if you don't like the throne, you go right down. Trapdoor's right next to the throne.
Here's the question. I want to ask you, Do you think, does Superman eat?
Does Superman poop?
No, does he eat? Does
Oh,
Superman need to eat?
How did that turn into poop?
I just said poop. No.
Does Superman? Well, they never show him eat, do they?
Hmm?
I've never seen him eat in any of the movies. I don't think I've ever seen him eat in the comic books.
To eat is the question. I don't know.
I think he just is.
This is a question me and my brother asked each other because we were like, all these time we knew about Superman, but he never ate anything. He never, he never cooked. I mean, I'm not even sure if he had to eat or if he did it was just because he had to, just to keep up appearances. He's choking back on Lois Lane's cooking, like hating it. He's like, I'd rather eat kryptonite at this point, but he's I don't.
Or does he just absorb from around? I don't know. That's a good question.
Apparently, this is again a problem with DC. Before the I think Infinity Crisis or something more that they had there, he didn't have to eat. He just got all his nutrition from the sun. He just was Pac-Man and just ate light, like that. And then after this comic revolution thing, he had to eat a little bit, not a lot. It's just he got weak if he didn't eat. That was the.
Then I should be the healthiest person alive because when it's 106 here every day, it's 106 plus, and you go out and the sun is just, yeah, I should be just nutrients just flowing through my body.
You're okay. So I know it's hot there. It's hot here, and I'm in Canada.
Is it?
Oh yeah, we've had a ridiculously hot summer.
But do you have humidity?
Bad, horrible.
Oh, see, we don't have humidity.
It's dry heat there, right? No, it's so bad. Like thick, like the air you breathe is just like it's almost Florida when it gets hot here. Like I know Florida, you walk out of the plane and it just like the humidity hits you.
Oh, Florida's it's like you walk out into a bowl of pudding. You just that's it, and you just through your whole day. It's terrible. I spent 2 summers in East Texas, which is just as bad, and we had to. I had a great time there, but we were rehearsing for shows, and we was just running from one air conditioned building to another, and by the time you got from one to the other, just everything was just stuck to you.
The reason why we're talking about heat, guys, is because Ian,
Ian, what?
Is melting.
Ian is melting. Did you? And you're just.
I just look at it.
What are you doing? Come here.
Looking down.
Come here. One of them's here.
Oh, you got it?
I'm having a needy cat moment. Because he's like, why aren't you asleep?
Yeah, I hope they stop. I don't think it will. I think people have to stop paying for it. That's the only way it's going to stop.
I know. I'm like, my friends are like, oh my God, Dumbo. Oh my God, Lady and the Tramp. I'm like, why are you doing this? I did read that Disney is committed to, like, they want to do a live action remake of all of them.
Yeah, with
all of them. I don't think we're going to be around by that point. I hope it doesn't go that fast. I hope it's far into the future, or I hope they just stop and work on something new. But that to me is just the antithesis of what Disney stories are supposed to be about. Now, if you want to get into, did they borrow fairy tales and fables and folk tales? Of course, yeah, but that's different because that's like a retelling, and it's many years later.
German tales, and they're all grisly and gruesome, and they always end up in people dying and being massacred. The original tales are very dark, very dark.
Yeah, and plus, Disney remade those. Now they're remaking their own stuff, which I don't get it. I do not understand it.
I do.
What is it?
They think that kids. They think that kids are this generation that they don't appreciate animation or something. They just. I understand that some of the stuff is outdated, right? Yeah, especially the old stuff. Okay, like you said, the crows and stuff like that. You can't, I understand the perspective. Maybe rebooting it or reuse it and changing it so that it's more modern and then it fits into the sort of more, I guess, this millennial sort of lifestyle, so that they can relate to it. Whatever. I don't care if they do that. It's just not everything needs to be like Beauty and the Beast wasn't that long ago. I don't think it needed to be rebooted. I don't think those ones don't.
And they almost remade. They remade portions of the film nearly frame for frame.
What's the point?
And I'm like the whole opening, like bonjour, 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 all these assholes popping out of windows. I was like, what? It was almost like shot for shot an exact replica. And I'm like, what is the point of this? I don't understand this at all. They did add in some extra stuff like, are you reading? Are you teaching that girl to read? And I'm like, oh, so we're going to be accurate about that, but we're not going to be accurate about like, huh?
Girls don't need to learn how to read.
Girls, what are you reading? What are you doing reading? I do it, but then she's doing laundry too. It's okay that she invented something to do the laundry, but it's not okay that she reads. So it's like, which one is it going to be? I always thought that was very funny. And do you know the actor who's Gaston is actually gay?
I did not know. I'm not gay. I thought you didn't care about who's gay and who's not.
No, I'm talking about the real person.
That's what. Oh, okay.
Not the
character.
No, Gaston is not gay. Yeah, if he's gay, then he's really, really trying hard. But no, I'm talking about. I forgot his name. Sorry, but the actual actor is gay, and I thought that was a little bit interesting because he's playing this big macho guy, and then Josh Gad is playing LeFou, who is now gay.
Well, I mean, what do you call it? Star Trek. What's his name? Sulu. He was a gay character.
George Takei.
George Takei. Yeah, he was.
George Takei.
George.
Oh my. Wait. So was he? I think I've heard about this. Was he saying that he was playing him gay back in the day, but nobody knew?
What happened was George Takei played him straight. He played it straight. Sulu's a straight character. The new J.J. Abrams verse of Star Trek, they turned George Takei, Sulu's character, gay in honor of George Takei. George Takei says, "Oh my, I don't like this at all." He did not want the character to be gay. He was against it.
Gotcha.
So Sulu is like,
my partner and I are outraged. They're always outraged on some.
We are gay in real life. We're actors. That's what he's. We don't need to be told to, And then what did they do? They had a whole stupid scene where he just, has, they're just together and him and his husband or whatever, and they had a child and they just, and then that was it. Like a quick scene,
Because that's all they know how to do when they make a gay character is the gay character has to sexually consummate something. It's never that there could be a gay character and they never actually hook up with anybody or have a relationship, because then how would you know anyway? Unless they walk around going, I'm gay. Okay. So they have to physically consummate something. And it's always like, ooh, here comes the big, I'm going to kiss another guy moment, or I'm going to kiss another girl moment. Or, oh, you see the shot of them waking up in a cryo sleep chamber together or whatever. But that's all they got. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying, like, why does it matter to point out ahead of time a character's sexuality when no one's gonna really know unless there's gonna be romance involved, because that's how people visually go, oh, that's how we know
representation.
Why am I doing this? What does this mean?
It's all about representation. They feel. Is this how it works? I don't know.
Wait, what? Oh, it's like, yeah, it's like that.
Me. I like the good old fashioned.
Somebody did that once. Because, everybody goes, they were going, they went, wait, they're like, what about guys? And somebody went like this, like that. Oh, I was like, it was kind of funny.
No.
Funny? Okay. You're like, that's not
I think
funny.
we're getting into too much information territory for you too.
It's nothing I did. I didn't do it. Hold on, let me get this guy. Come here. He's upset. My cat's very upset.
I have a feeling there's a lot of YouTubers that are going to be upset too.
About that?
Probably. You know how people get. Everybody gets sensitive in we're going to be, you guys are awful. You guys. Yeah. Honestly. No, but I really think it's just more about getting people to be represented. They just feel like we need more. We cannot. Okay. What Kathleen Kennedy said about Star Wars, women didn't feel like they were represented, or they didn't feel like that kind of nonsense, which is not true, because they always say, well, you need to have this demographic to feel like you're a part of it. Is that true? Because who likes Harry Potter? Women like girls, teenage girls like Harry Potter more than boys. Right? And what is Harry Potter? Harry Potter is a boy. You can tell all these girls who read Harry Potter and relate to Harry Potter away. Tell them that they don't relate to Harry Potter at all. So in the future, they're going to make Harry Potter gay or a good woman, and then Hermione is going to be a girl or whatever, or a guy, and reverse the roles because reasons. In the end, they're false. They don't understand the reality of the situation. They just. That's the thing. They don't live in reality. They live in a bubble, a square an echo chamber of what they just hear what their friends say and hear. You know what I'm saying? They don't really know what really.
Well, and if you're given this idea and you kind of build on this idea that representation only means things that look like, smell like, walk like, talk like you, then you're going to have a very limited scope of what you can relate to. It's like, well, what about the fact that the other person the character is a human? Look, here's the thing for me, with representation. Representation's great, but have something for the characters to do. If you're gonna deliberately say, hey, this person is A, this person is B, this person has these attributes, this character has these attributes, give them something to fucking do. Don't just stick them in a movie and have somebody will go, that looks like me, it's me. I'm like, yeah, but they're not doing anything. Are you like that? Like, no. And then the other thing is, you're a louse. And the other thing is with, where's I going with this?
Transformers.
Oh, I don't know where this came about, but like, I need to go see on the screen something that needs to represent me.
Mm-hmm.
And what I need, all I need is a good character and a good story. I don't care what color they are. I don't care what gender. I don't care if they're alien. Like, I've gone to movies and related to the third alien on the right and gone, wow, I really feel for that. I've been through that situation.
I related to Alf, my fuzzy alien. Like, why I could we related to like animals, for heaven's sake. We watched Walt Disney movies. Were we animals like that? We can relate to anything. We just have to put ourselves in that.
I mean, like Bambi, E.T., Yoda. Yoda carried 1/3 of that damn movie, if not more. And I talked about that recently, briefly, in one of my videos. It's like, remember when a puppet character could carry 1/3 of a movie, and people were just like. And nobody even questioned it. They were just like, that's one of the characters in the movie, and I love it.
He carried the whole thing.
He carried the entire... I don't know about that, because the whole damn movie's good, but...
Frog carried the whole movie.
And like E.T., like an audio animatronic character carried a whole movie. Like, that thing had to work. And...
characters carry movies.
Huh?
CGI characters are carrying movies all the time.
It's still one of the most popular movies, and it's like, that is proof right there that you can. It's about what the character is going through, and that was a character from another planet, and we got it. We got it that he was like, oh, I'm scared. We got it that like I'm getting sick and I'm worried. We got it that he was like, I want to go home. Where are my people coming? Right. All you got to do is look at a movie like that and go, oh. And I think it's kind of narcissistic to walk around this idea that like. You're supposed to be represented in everything all the time. Like, I go to the store. Like, I don't need the mannequins to be my build and everything. I go find the clothes that fit me right on the rack. I don't get offended if they don't have a whatever my body type is, I don't know. I don't get offended if they don't have that.
I get offended. I get offended.
You should get offended. I think you're going to call Target tomorrow.
No, I don't.
You should get offended for me. That's even better.
Thing is,
getting offended for other people who aren't offended, that's what I really enjoy.
It's the minority of people that get offended. That's the thing. A small minority of loudmouth.
Well, like I'm a minority, you know?
No. I mean,
I'm a social minority. I'm not a racial minority, but I'm a social minority.
A minority even among minorities. You know what I'm saying? A minority of minorities. You know what I'm saying? It's not the majority of the minorities.
Yeah.
Right? Tongue twister. A minority of majorities that are a minority of minorities that are the ones who really care. Or I mean, I have so many friends that are of multiple races, Indian, all kinds of races. And
right.
They hate this nonsense more than I do. They can't stand this stuff. You know, I don't even know what it is. It's not even real. It seems so forced and fake. And that's another thing. Back in the day, in the 80s or whatever, when they had a character like a female lead like Ripley, or a female lead or a black lead like any pick one. There's thousands of them. Like I said, what's the name? Eddie Murphy, and in any movie he ever did. It was just a natural thing. We didn't think about it. They didn't say virtual. Like you said, they don't send out the bat signal before the movie saying,
right,
black character, gay character. Didn't do that. We just assumed that that's what they were. That's who they are. Nobody cared. They just watched the damn movie for what it was. And now they got to send out the bat signal every time. So you're clear before the movie. We're aware that we're trying to include you in our movie. Rose Tico was a good example. That's why people don't like her. That was just such a,
We didn't give her anything to do. It was just a badly written character. I have no problem with Kelly Marie Tran. I didn't like her acting, but I don't have anything against her personally. I mean, that would be. I don't even know her. That would be ridiculous. But it's the age of descriptors, and when they try, in the name of inclusion and all that, it's really in the name of this, because they really just want your butts in the seat. And then some of these characters, they don't give you any substance with them. They're just like, well, we got you here, and look, there's someone like you on the screen. You're like, but they're boring, and you didn't give them anything to do, and you actually just kind of stuck them in there. That's what pisses me off. I don't like that. It's like, great, get everybody in there, but give everybody something to do. Give everybody something that is substantial and makes them meaningful in the story. That's all I care about. I like good storytelling. Like that's it. It's really important.
Characters even give no characters get anything. Like to this day, Ray, the big heralded Ray.
See, we're on Star Wars.
But she's a character who we're talking about has no motive. What is she there to do? Luke, we know his story. Grew up. He looked to the stars, always thought he was meant for something better. Someone came down to your father, this is the destiny of your father. He had that, that attachment to his dad and the lightsaber, become a Jedi and the dark side, and then he even got stronger because he found out that Vader was, spoiler alert, Vader.
Oh, shit.
Vader is his dad, right?
Yeah.
Sister, they made out, and we don't talk about that.
Wait, who made out?
Leia and Luke.
Oh, no.
They made out, remember?
Yes. I do again. I had erased it from my memory, and you just...
Right.
No.
But Rey, she lives on she's a desert. Like, what character does she have? She has nothing. And I don't even talk about the Mary Sue stuff, like her being great at everything. What I'm saying is, what drives her? What is her motive? Why does she want to follow?
Sweating. Sweating and crying.
Yeah.
And being very sincere about everything. Like, I want to help you. We have to do this.
She's the
sweating and crying.
Dr. Phil. She's the Dr. Phil of the Star Wars universe. She just wants to help everyone, and that's what she's there. I'm here to help you. Like, what is her? I still don't get her. All I know is that she wants to find a parent. All I know.
And then that's apparently been for the moment
nothing about
answered. So there's nothing to do. There's nothing to do. I know that when I do this, some people go, oh, there you go. But you have to go back to the original trilogy, and you don't have to go back to all the story elements, but you have to go back to the way that story is constructed, because that's based on very classical storytelling, hero's journey, all of that stuff. And yeah, of course we don't want it to repeat that exactly, but it bears some examination, it warrants some examination, because like if you look at episode 8, and here we are, Rey hasn't really lost anything. She's had no big challenges. She's had no big pitfalls. No, she's messing around on a mirror, like the Rockettes going like snap, 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 snap. Whatever that was. By the end of 8, she should have suffered like some pretty big crap. And she didn't. So what's the setup? That she just finds out some more stuff in what I bet you it is going to be 2 parts. I bet you they are gonna
You're gonna hope Ron Johnson wins. You don't want Ron Johnson's trilogy to come quick. They just have to stall.
No. Here he is. Look at him.
Aw, so sweet.
He wanted to be up here, and now he's here.
You give me the stink eye. I don't like the look of this guy. I wouldn't trust him if I were you.
You okay now? All you have to do, he's like, you have to just like hold him a little bit, and then he calms down, and then he stops panicking. So I think he's good. Go on. He's like, why aren't you touching me? I'm like, because I'm doing this.
No, but even what they gave, even let's just say the only thing they gave her that's wrong, the finding of her parents, that she has not done anything actively for that purpose. And this is 2 movies in, and she has not yet. You know what I'm saying? She has not actively gone. That was the only thing they gave her. That was hers. Was her drive to figure out who she was, and she has not. She's not actively yet gone to do that. Like she just followed Luke around the island for the whole time. Train me, please, train me. Then she went to the mirror and saw 1,000 of her, and she was all disappointed because the answers didn't come fast and quick, But like, then Kylo Ren tells her some nonsense, and it's just like, but she didn't actively go to find anything. Like she hasn't looked or tried. It seems like, what is your motive? What is your personality? What do you want to do? And it says, oh, she's a great character. Now they're going to do this Reylo shit. Which, I don't know, you think that's going to happen?
That it's going to be Reylo?
I
just got forehead. It was like, oh my God.
I thought it was like,
there it is.
And all of a sudden you were just like,
get ready for a surprise.
Whenever Shanie talks.
Do you know what reference that was?
Hmm?
You know what that reference was?
What? Say it again.
When you're holding a head and it goes, get ready for a surprise.
Yes.
What was it?
I want to say an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie.
It was?
I want to say one where he's on Mars. And yeah, that's why. I forgot the name. Why I can't forget the name?
Total Recall.
They rebooted that one too, and it was
Total Recall.
Yes, I'm going to recall your face.
Total Recall your face. Oh my God. Do I think Reylo's going to happen?
I'm so old. Poor guy. That's a reboot they made. There's another reboot.
I don't know if Reylo's going to. I don't care if Reylo's going to happen.
If Reylo happens, this is the only thing I think.
That would be really weird.
Well, not if you make her evil. See, this is where I hope that they make her interesting. Think about it. She turns to the dark side. And that could be her, like, that would be the best thing that could possibly happen to Rey in her character, is that she just turns dark. And then that's
so it's like the reverse of the first trilogy. It's like instead of someone's redemption, it's someone's journey into but then just be another 1 through 3.
But it's with a girl. So it's different.
But it's a girl, an evil girl.
It's a girl now. It's different. But I think maybe that happens, right? She turns dark because she really doesn't have any stake in it. She doesn't give a shit. She's just like, whatever. I'm here for the party. I don't really know. I'm gonna go for wherever I could find my parents. And so she finds that maybe that's the direction she takes. And so she goes. And then her and Ben destroy the universe. And that's the ending. They figuratively and literally destroy the Star Wars universe with those two.
To me, it's all been so exhausted that I'm not a theorist to begin with. I have a few little ideas that I like to kind of throw around in my own head. I try not to throw them at other people too much because they're like, oh my God, who the hell is this? But
I'm not. Just like you.
Because I don't have anyone to talk about it with.
No,
until now.
Don't judge me.
Until right now. I see your ring light, by the way, which reminds me that my ring light is coming in. I'm so excited. There it is, ring light.
Like I do.
Right there in the middle.
Make a halo effect.
Wait, we're talking about Star Wars, and we're not supposed to talk about Star Wars.
Why not? We never
We're
said
supposed to talk about reboots.
Yeah, reboot Star Wars.
Oh yeah, Star Wars is kind of a reboot. Well, it's not a reboot; it's a rejuvenation. Episode 9, rejuvenation.
Or that won't go away.
Yeah.
It's a cavity.
You ever got a canker sore? It's like right here.
Yeah.
It's like it just won't go away. But no, I don't think that it's ending anytime soon. It's kind of weird. I just kind of feel like everything's been done. And
Gremlins coming back.
Oh, that's right. Why'd you have to bring that shit up? They're making another Gremlins. Oh, they're making another Indiana Jones.
Yeah, that's just part 5. That's not a reboot. That's just
what's it gonna be? Like Indiana Jones and the Temple of Retirement? Like what is it gonna be?
Yeah, he's just all on my sister now on her.
I want someone to come up to him in the film and go, "You belong in a museum."
Yeah.
Right? Maybe they'll do that. I don't know. What is it going to be about? He's not going to be able to do anything.
Yeah, well, even the last movie, I was like, what I found the most. Like, I didn't even care about the aliens thing, right? I didn't even care about. I don't know a lot of people cared. I didn't. I don't mind.
I had friends tell me not to see it. They're like, Ian, don't see it. You're going to be really upset. And I said, okay, I didn't. And then I watched a little bit of it on cable. I always feel like cable just reduces the risk of getting really upset because it's smaller. So I'm just like, I'm so ready to be pissed off. And then I'm like, oh, okay, that wasn't so bad. But if I see it on the big screen, then I'm like, whoa, what is that? But what were you going to say?
I was going to say that I felt that like the aliens didn't bother me. It bothered me being an old man running around doing things that a young man does. Like him bouncing off windshields how old is Harrison Ford now? Bouncing off a windshield, and I'm just like, that's gone. His hip is done. His hip is done. There's no way. My grandfather falls down the stairs. He's done. You bounce off that windshield at your age, your hip is out. There's no way you're getting up.
Oh, how about the refrigerator?
Oh, that's.
I mean that right there. Somebody told me about. They're like, Ian, don't do it. They're like, he survives a nuclear blast. Spoilers, by the way. They're like, if you haven't seen it, just.
But is that any more silly than what happened in Part 2? Think about it.
In what?
Track to track on that stupid Part 2 on the
I know.
Leaping from he fell out of a plane on a bloody boat on a raft.
Yeah.
And landing in the water.
I know flight attendants, and I'm like, could you do that? And they said it depends on how much pressure. Why are we? They're like, It depends on how quickly it inflates.
How did the flight attendant know?
And if it stays rigid, they said you obviously couldn't do that out of a 35,000 feet flight. But they said you might be able to try it out of like a biplane flying low. Somebody should try. Somebody should go and debunk all the movie stunts like that and see if they.
I have a theory about that though.
They'll make one episode and it'll just one half a season.
I have a theory about Indiana Jones. I was gonna make a video about it one day. One day when I ran out of material. No, my theory about Indiana Jones is, his hat? His hat.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Hat. She's talking.
Cat night.
Okay. So what I believe is that Indiana Jones, from the beginning to the end, has always been what? We thought the third one was supposed to be the last one. It was called what? The Last Crusade, right?
Yeah. Excuse me.
Which makes Indiana Jones a crusader. A crusader, and during the old times, the Crusaders used to be pilgrims of the Catholic Church, finding all the the stuff like from the Knights Templar, going to get all the gods, ancient relics, right? The Ark of the Covenant, which started with the Ark of the Covenant, the Cup of Christ, and all that stuff, which is exactly what the Crusades were about, with them going to do that. Now, I believe that this is like almost like a Steven Spielberg sort of hidden secret thing, that he has always been, and this is kind of getting into the God territory. So if you guys are religious, I'm not very religious, but I'm just saying that this is more of a religious, because he's always been a religious character, right? Not him personally, but the movies have always revolved around religious artifacts.
Yeah.
His whole thing was he's supposed to get these religious artifacts for I believe for God. I think he was kind of like God's crusader, God's knight, and that's even at the end he was literally God's knight at the end, right? Even when he said, "Gods don't wear this." I've never seen a knight dressed like you. Now the hat that he wears, the fedora, is almost like Samson. Samson in the Bible, the whole hair, if you cut his hair off.
Yeah, and if his hair gets cut off, he loses his strength.
And I believe that his hat, his hat always magically comes to him somehow. It always flows to him. It comes in no matter what. It's like as long as he has that hat, he's got almost like God's protection. So he can survive a nuclear blast. He could fall out of a plane. He could do all that stuff because he's got some sort of, weird God protection sort of voodoo thing about that hat. And if that hat goes, then that's when he goes. That's what I think. He's all. See? I see the brain coming.
You think of the fifth one that the hat's gonna finally go?
Well, that's the thing. If his hat goes, then he goes, right? That's the thing. His hat is. Remember, even in the fourth one, they kind of teased the hat rolling down the aisle to go to someone else, and you think, "Nope, mine," and put it back on his head. I think that's as long as he's got that hat, and the hat will always find him because it comes to him.
So he's Samson.
Yeah, he will always. He's Samson, but he's almost like you said, he's like God said, "You're my champion. Go out there," and he's a perfect champion because like usually champions are the ones that don't want to be champions. You're usually the guys that are just like, "I don't know what you're talking about. I don't believe any of that." He's like, "That's fine. You don't have to believe it. Just do it." Right? And he goes out there and he brings all of God's stuff back to where it belongs, out of the hands of evil, right? Which is the Satan, the Nazis. So it was like, bring all the good stuff. So don't let them get their hands on that stuff. And so he was sent out to do that. That's why he survived nuclear blast. It's all logical. You see how logical it is now.
But in the alien one wasn't a religious artifact.
No, that throws a monkey wrench.
That was just UFO.
Well, it was religious art. Well, it was a religious artifact, but to a different religion, not necessarily Catholic.
Scientology.
No, Mayans.
The Mayans.
They have religion,
That's funny. Hey.
So racist. But that's my theory.
Shanie, look at him.
I just lost half the audience with that theory.
I think that's interesting. I like that kind of stuff. I could get behind that kind of stuff. I like it.
Well, I'm going to send that to the theory guy. You know that
You know
guy.
what?
You know that there's that animal series.
I like it.
Yikes! Me too. Are we gonna do the Homer dueling homers? Let's do the dueling homers.
Are we doing homers? We can do that. We can totally do that.
What are
Let's
we
get it
gonna
all out. Let's get it all out. Just one
do?
whole thing. We gotta save some for some other video.
Well, we're just talking right. We're just talking reboots.
No, I know.
We're just talking replays. But I hope, going back to Gremlins, I really hope they don't CGI fest it. I hope it's not a CGI fest. And
I think it will be, because those puppets, especially now, because it's such like a specialized skill. It would be astronomically expensive.
I'm not saying I don't want some CGI. I just kind of would rather see like a mixture of CGI and puppets and practical effects. I always like to. I don't like Jurassic Park holds up to the rest because they mix CGI and and practical effects.
Well, and granted, with Gremlins they did that too, because there were animatronic ones, there were puppet ones. You know, they even had a very short scene of stop motion animation of them, you know, spilling out through the. So they did a few different ways of doing that. So no, I wouldn't have a problem if they were a little bit CGI, just as long as they're not completely CGI. Because it doesn't matter what you do, it's gonna lose all of that. And what the hell is the story gonna be? Is it gonna be like Billy and Kate now have kids and they go to an island in Costa Rica and she gets attacked on the beach by a couple gremlins? But just
I've got an island. I've got an island off the coast of Costa Rica.
I don't know, like, what is it going to be about? I thought that there was going to be one left over. Whatever happened to the smart one from Gremlins 2? The one who was like, hello, thank you for joining us tonight.
What was his name?
Did he die?
Tony Randall?
It's Tony Randall, yeah. Did he die? Did that gremlin die?
The actor died.
That doesn't matter anymore. Just bring everybody back. We have footage of The Odd Couple from never released footage of The Odd Couple of Tony Randall. You're like, where the hell are you going with this? I was referencing episode 9. But I don't think I know what the story is going to be about. You know, they were pushing Goonies for a while, like Goonies 2. Like they all had kids, and then the kids were going to be in some sort of peril and have to go on some sort of adventure. I was like, oh Lord.
Y'all won't see that.
I'm really glad that didn't happen, because it's been too long, and that would have just been
it's still
awful. And people do not buy that kind of movie making anymore. They're like, oh my God, this is so cheesy. I mean, it's, you know, it's in the collective memory, so we enjoy it. Of course, I can still watch that movie and go, yes. But younger generations with movies like that, no.
Your generation only goes to see superhero movies, so screw that. They only go see superhero movies anyway.
Well, there's something very interesting about that. I went to an exhibit some time ago about Japanese culture and about the rise of Godzilla and the cutification of everything, you know, like giving everything a face, like a cute face, and like super over cuting everything. There's a word for it in certain parts of the culture. And it was an exploration of like how the bombing of Hiroshima was such a catastrophic event to Japanese culture that the aftermath of that and the effect on people was so horrific, understandably, absolutely. And they're saying that that's actually the birth of mainstream Japanese pop culture, like Godzilla, like the monster who comes and terrorizes the city, but he's your friend. Giving inanimate objects faces and identities so that everything around you seems familiar and like you can relate to it. And that somehow saved them from the horror of what they had to see and experience after Hiroshima. People are saying now that like Marvel movies and superhero movies are kind of the antidote to post 9/11, And if you look at a lot of superhero movies, they do take place they center around Manhattan or big cities that remind people of Manhattan.
The comics always revolve around Manhattan.
Yeah.
Even back way before 9/11, it always revolved around Manhattan.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, a lot of it was already New York, but now there's really emphasis on like.
You remember Spider-Man? Actually, the original Spider-Man with Sam Raimi, the movie, had
I saw. Yeah.
Had the Twin Towers in it. You remember and they pulled that commercial in the original trailer. Had him. He actually between the he actually caught, I think, a car between the two trade towers. Like.
Oh, I didn't know that, but I knew on
they pulled that
one of the original released posters, he was on the side of a building, and his eyes were reflective, the costume at the time, and you could see the reflection of the Twin Towers in his eyes.
Caught a helicopter between the towers.
What?
He caught a helicopter.
Okay. He caught a helicopter. But yeah, I remember that poster was out briefly, and then they took that down because they're like, oh, get all Twin Tower imagery out of here. Don't connect it with this movie, anything like that. But there's studies now that Marvel movies and superhero movies are kind of the antidote to the aftermath of what that meant to the citizens of the United States. And so now hero culture, well, not hero culture in real life, but cinematic hero culture and cinematic superhero culture has exploded because it's something that people escape into to kind of deal with all of that, even all these years later.
Well, I could buy it to an extent. Like I know it probably does have some merit to it in the United States, but there's like, a lot of other countries that didn't have 9/11, and that
so they have it every day.
Canada didn't have a 9/11, so we love superhero movies. So it's there is. I'm pretty sure there's some truth to that, right? Like I'm pretty sure there is. Like, even Superman himself was born out of a Jewish kid, I think in Baltimore, getting bullied in school. And so he wrote his own hero, and then a Canadian kid moved next door and they worked together to create Superman. But it was born off of a kid just feeling he was bullied and he needed to create his own hero to save him, right? And that's how he was born. So I could see how modern day kids or people just would need something to look up to. And I also think it's also the death. Again, I think it's also the death of anything to look up to. Like everything is shit. People just think there's nothing to look up to at all. Like there's no. Oh, look at our celebrities, our real heroes, like people that I looked up to. Like when I was a kid, Bill Cosby was my everything. I was a stand-up comedian. I used to do my Bill Cosby. For a lot of time, this is all I ever talked about was Jell-O pudding pop.
And the kids with the pudding.
Why? But for some reason, he went and screwed everything up for me. And that's all I care. No, but I mean, you know what I mean? He was the guy I looked up to, and now, what the hell, man? Now, like you said, Steven Spielberg is implicated in something, and who the hell knows who else? And it's just like, that's why there's no real people to look up to anymore. There's no before, and I think Americans.
No, I think that's part of it too. So it's like we have to look up to them in the movies, which is why we keep going. Hey, remember this? Remember this? Remember this? Look at these heroes. These are from your past. And I think people need to be reminded of their childhoods a lot. And I think nostalgia is probably one of the #1 tools being used in Hollywood right now when it comes to films and stuff. Because everything's remember this. Remember this, remember this. We brought this back. This is now a musical. They're making King Kong the musical, Shanie. King Kong the musical. Like, is he going to sing? What's it? What?
No.
See, they said at Universal Studios that part of the tram tour burnt down. I think they stole it and they're putting that in the Broadway musical. That's what I think.
Let's say that again.
They said I went to Universal Studios recently, and King Kong changed to this multi-orgasmic screen, 3D screen thing that's like right in your. It's not multi-orgasmic. It was
Depends on the person who sees it.
Depends on where you're seated, I guess. And I said, what happened to the old King Kong where you go through part of New York and then he's there and like he kind of shakes the bridge and stuff? They're like, oh, that burned down. I didn't know that happened. I was like, oh, okay. But now that I heard they're making King Kong the musical and they're having him on stage from here up, I'm like, they stole him. They didn't. There was no fire. They stole him and they're putting him on Broadway. That's what I think happened. You want a little theory? That's my little theory. We got King Kong burnt down and we got Raylo.
You ever see the original King Kong of the 1930s?
Oh yeah.
By animation. Or,
Yeah.
Hey
Ray.
I always like that's like I told you like I watched this movie when I was a kid and I always talk about Predator. That's one movie you can't ever go back because King Kong had a look on his face. I don't know if you can go back, but if you guys can go look him up. Go look up Google the picture of the original. He always had this like this look on his face, like this horny monkey. Like he never looked scary to me. He just looked like a super horny monkey. Like he'd hold her like the girl, like this horny like. It was like never.
Yeah, that special eye lighting too. It was like when the bar of light comes right across your face. He's like, hey, I know exactly what you're talking about. And the new King, oh god, the new King Kong, it's Andy Serkis. So he's like very broody and
I
was thinking about stuff.
He looked like a mopey old man.
Yeah.
Well,
I do like his expressions and stuff. I think that's pretty amazing. But yeah, the old King Kong's just like,
where's girl? I don't even know how would the logistics even work? Like, what was it in his mind? He's just like, ooh, girl, like really? Like what was he gonna do with her? You know, I don't understand his like. It would have been a sad, horrible thing.
I always thought of it like a cat carrying around a toy mouse, or a dog carrying around a stick that they're proud of that they are able to carry. I always thought of it that way.
Stick to death, and the cat would rip the mouse in shreds. You never play with it like this. Can you imagine if he actually was allowed to play with the girl like this?
Just King Kong just goes and buries her out in the jungle. All the other bodies, something like that. So I gotta work towards an ending because it's getting it's 2 there, isn't it? I'm not sure. That was the
chin-ups I've ever seen.
It was the 11 o'clock pump. It's like, yeah.
It's called fake chin-ups.
Yeah, that's what I do at 11 o'clock. I just go.
Fake chin-ups. Okay, so let's end this thing. Okay. I'll do it. I got to press the button. See, it's like the stop. Right.
Oh, I didn't. No, I was just going to say closing statements.
Well, my closing statement should be like this: all people who want to reboot something should all burn in hell. It might be a bit harsh.
I was going to say they should all have their directorial debuts taken away, and they should all have to work at Applebee's in the service industry.
No, I didn't want them ruining and SJWing up my sandwich. No.
Can I get the SJW on the side with the sandwich? It's on it. It's everywhere. It's on it. I kind of wanted it over on the side. Like it's mayo. What would it look like? What would SJW sauce look like? It would be like
SJW sauce would be like
it wouldn't be good. I know that.
It'd be bitter. It'd be very
yeah. Very bitter.
And burned.
Very tangy. Very like
and then diarrhea.
You have it, you just go, oh.
It was the SGW I had last week. It's all in the toilet.
SGW.
You know who
now serving everyone.
You know what they should reboot?
Something like
reboot this. Married with Children. That's what should be rebooted.
Stop it. Just don't say anything.
No, I'm going to do with a different class.
It's going to happen.
What Al? You need more Al. You need more Al in this world.
I can't. That's for another time. We'll have to talk about that.
All right, guys.
But,
you know what? I'll do this. This is a big sketch. I got some video editing to do as well.
You're gonna take out
too much info, guys.
You take out my little thing earlier. Okay.
He won't let me go. He's the one that brought up going, and he won't let me go.
No, I'm fine, man. No, because So, yes, I say good chat. That's what I say.
Nice speaking with you. We'll do this again, but we'll be.
Oh, yes, we will.
We should be more organized next time and be like we veer off.
Hey, you know what? But we kept it going.
Yeah, this was our first time, guys. Listen, I just want you guys all to know if anybody's watching this, who knows, right?
The very first time.
We did well. Yeah, it was our first time. We're trying. We had a hell of a time trying to get the technology to work. And by this, that's why it's so late. I mean, we started this. When did we start this? What time was it there when we tried?
We started this journey at about 7 o'clock my time. Yeah. We got to the journey. We got to Mount Doom around 9:17.
Look at him.
And we've been.
It was a normal.
Hey, you know what? We're fine.
Yeah, I'm fine.
We're fine. There's lots more to talk about. We had plenty to talk about, and there's lots more to talk about. And it's my fault when we go off on tangents because I'm a Gemini, and I just go, "Hey, I saw something sparkly over here. Do you want it? We're going to talk about that for a second."
Any of them?
Huh?
Haven't you watched any of my videos talk about tangents?
I know.
I go crazy.
Maybe we'll just be the tangent twins. We could just do that.
Dueling homers. The next one's just
dueling homers. And we should just do the whole thing as homers. Two homers.
Hey, Homer.
Hey, Homer.
How's everything?
What'd you ask?
This stream sucks.
I can't understand you.
No. Woohoo! All right. Anyway, guys, I'm going to say goodbye. This is going to continue forever if we don't at some point. So,
yes, and I'm going to say goodbye too. Thank you for watching if you're there, and had a great time. I used to tape one of my eyebrows up.
Oh, because you want to compete?
I was trying to train my eyebrow to do that, and I can't. I walk around the
I'm just going to stay
house as a kid with tape. I can't do it. But
I'm just going to be frozen.
Thank you. I'm going to go do that now.
All right.
Thanks for watching, Shanie. Thanks for having me. I'll be back. You'll be back.
Yes.
We'll do it again. So much to talk about. Oh, my God.
Yes. All right, guys. I hope we didn't bore you too much. I hope you were at least somewhat entertained by this, and you liked his opinions. Entertaining opinions. Anyway. All right, guys. So I'll see you later. You want to do like with me? Like that?
Here we go.
Ready?
Yeah.
And now I got to press the button. Ready?